I want to ask the Irish government, what about us? Huh? When do we matter? What about 95% of the population that this virus doesn't affect? Huh? Do we not matter, no?
Donate for no.
https://tco3dalu8z3d
https://tco3bgo0h6ubr2
Real-time update from Florida https://tco1g8lgtyrvn. For the record, I'm still in Florida and it feels real good.
https://tcoilyd55mtj
Lots of new big tech censorship stories out there today. The platforms are coming for everyone who is woke. Some of us have been trying to warn you. You can stay in touch with me directly at https://tcogs1j980e. More announcements soon. https://tcofxndcbs85k.
It's a very corrupt way to think of race and racism, and to make race and racism relevant to every single possible topic. Conceptual jumps on critical race theory. The Friday panel with James Realcharis Rufo and Conservative https://tcoc1mvk82n85 https://tcocs8wc1k.
So it is a completely radical way derived from what's called critical theory to view race and racism, to where you assume that race is the key thing that you have to be thinking about all the time. Racism is the ordinary state of affairs. Racism always perpetuates itself. So if you benefit from racism, you are therefore motivated, it says, not to understand racism, not to be able to question your complicity in racism, and therefore want to maintain racism. So it's a very corrupt way to think about race and racism, and to make race and racism relevant to every single possible topic. So that's why I say not to be playing word games, that it is like racial hypersensitivity training. It teaches people to look for racism in literally every situation, interaction, phenomenon, and institution.
Welcome to OnLocals, your community, your rules have at it.
Babylon Bee? What?
Wow.
That's like a cool satire website, isn't it?
Only the coolest.
Is it though? I mean, it's pretty cool.
It's actually not. That's one of the coolest things about it, is how uncool it is. How cool it is with being uncool.
Yeah, we're cool with that. Hey, I'm Kyle Mann. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Babylon Bee. This is Ethan Nicole, and he's the creative director of the Babylon Bee. And we want to welcome you to the Locals community. We're excited to join Locals. I don't 100% understand it, because it's kind
of like Patreon or something.
I feel like when I hit 30 years old, I just stopped caring about any new technology at that point. And so Locals has been explained to me several times, and I think I understand it, and I think it's awesome.
Well, I think that one thing we'll definitely have here on Locals that I'm excited about is a cool community. We've struggled with, on Facebook, we tried to create a group, and it was a complete
and total disaster.
Yeah. So I think Babylon Bee readers like interacting with each other in a safe space, and that's what this is going to be.
This is a safe space. No triggering here.
You can post, you can share, you can comment.
Share some Babylon Bee articles. We'll share some exclusive content, exclusive videos, all that kind of cool stuff. So thanks for joining.
Is that it?
I think that was it.
That was it.
Thanks.
You don't have to be an influencer to have influence. You don't have to have a Twitter account. You just have to have a voice, and you have to be a little equipped. You have to have a little knowledge and a little bit of courage. Conservative https://tcoc1mvk82n85 https://tco2b4zneflzq.
To have influence, you don't have to have a Twitter account. You just have to have a voice, and you just have to be a little equipped. You have to have a little knowledge and a little bit of courage, just a little bit of each of those things, to stand up in the spheres that you occupy and say something. And I think, at least on a local level, it's amazing how quickly that house of cards can crumble. And so change is possible. I don't know if I'm completely optimistic that it'll change on a large scale. I hope so, but I think people can make a change in the world and in the circle that they live in.
Eric Weinstein https://tcojyrpg7x1r.
Once you break past that initial period where they really try to bully and silence and intimidate you, if you can make it past that, there's nothing to stop you. Realtors Roof of Friday panel with Chris Conservative and Conceptual Johns https://tcoc1mvk82n85 https://tcohxddovexx8.
And I think once you break through that initial period where they really try to bully and silence and intimidate you, but if you can actually just make it past that and actually exert kind of strength and fortitude, there's nothing else to stop you. And actually at that point, courage begets courage. Courage is kind of a snowball effect, and people recognize it, people support you, people come out to appreciate what you're doing. And I've just found that once you break through, you can achieve a kind of personal, kind of psychological inner freedom to really embrace what you believe. And then it's also battle tested. Your ideas that you've been maybe privately believing, once you kind of expose them to public life, your ideas only get stronger and your convictions only deepen.
Nobody should drink Coke anyway, but this is the nail in the high fructose corn syrup coffin for me.
Whoa, https://tcoaowex://http.
The Friday panel is back later today with Conceptual John's Realtris Rufo and Conserve Millen on critical race theory, the woke destruction of our institutions, and the strange new political alignment. Subscribe https://tco4zswvx25 and https://tcoemagttphhl.
Also find it easier to speak with people, whether they are Christian conservative, and that tends to be in particular, but if their eyes are open and they know what time it is, than if they do not. And then if they're woke, I mean, they just don't want to talk. I wrote a controversial piece a while back explaining why the woke don't want to debate, how it goes, in a sense, against, if we will, their religion, to debate or compromise, to uphold discourses and ideas that go against their view, and to lend credence to them by association or by platforming them. They can't compromise because then they leave half of the status quo on the table, and that's against their faith.
Congrats, China. Between this and our president with dementia, you've already won.
https://tcoukYIVB90. This is long, trippy, and fun. Can't get you out of my head. Part 6. Are we pigeon or are we dancer? https://tco8m1ftez6fr via YouTube. Excellent strategy for someday winning the White House while currently dunking on Cruz and being useful to this round goes to Ock.
Thamashuras 8. Your ignorance of my body of work is noted. Carry on.
Ted Cruz works fast.
Ted Cruz warms Texas with his American-based tweeting helicopters on Mars. Lots more. https://tco and 3Os and 9fr.
It's hard to judge this situation from the outside, but I would think is exactly the kind of guy you want to consider for tenure, in part to keep him from getting cancelled for some future or past opinion.
AnnCoulter, I guess that made sense to someone. People still tweet the SOTEL for cognitive dissonance at me. I like it. Rapister, he ruins everything. Johnny Goodtimes, I would have been right then too. I got mocked for that a lot.
Luke says, "New, have your Facebook friends been posting as much?"
Truth for Thelos, what did you steal? I will listen to your confession.
Lee 1977 Justin, yes, but it says more about the public than it does about Cruz. We need things we don't need.
Politics haiku, all land is stolen.
AnnCoulter, let's see how many critics without reasons it attracts to know for sure.
This is some crazy shit worth reading for that alone.
White supremacy used to be the belief that white people were better than others, but that doesn't match anyone's observation in modern times. Now it's more about the question of whether white people get to keep the stuff they stole from the people who had no stuff.
FELIXNZ, why would anyone Google Facebook?
Nissan Middle 92, I'm sure there are ads, but where is user traffic? No one is posting as much.
Amateur Canadian advertising works. I've literally never seen that, and I've done a lot of advertising.
This is funny but true to hoax's head, baby.
Seeking for, I think they would have mentioned it.
How does Facebook make money during the pandemic? I don't see people posting on it anymore, with a few exceptions, and they don't have campaign ad revenue now. Seriously, how do they stay in business if they aren't faking their stats to advertisers?
Asufan96, try Tinder.
Has anyone checked to see if Ted Cruz is suffering enough if we let him stay in a room with electricity when he returned to Texas? Doesn't that defeat the purpose? And why the hell do we let him wear a jacket outdoors? Are we even serious about solving the problem in Texas?
When Ted Cruz flew to Cancun, a lot of Texans got heated about it. I don't think Cruz gets enough credit for that.
Breaking as anticipated, Ted Cruz American-based tweeting is already starting to raise temperatures in Texas. Experts say 24 more media appearances by Cruz and the crisis could be over. C3 Florida Bay, I hear he's good with tools because of his experience in the Senate. Normonix never heard of the Capitol assault on Jan 6th.
Really is a good question for people who are bad at economics, and if we don't control space, we're eventually all in Chinese concentration camps.
Microprofile, this is why.
Has Ted Cruz increased the temperature in Texas yet? These questions all have fairly obvious answers.
If there really is a pandemic, then why don't we hear the constant wail of ambulance sirens throughout the day and night? Number 2, if there really is a pandemic, then why are all of the undertakers saying that business is either normal or less than usual? Number 3, if there really is a pandemic, then why don't we see endless queues of people at cemeteries and crematoriums burying their loved ones? Number 4, if there really is a pandemic, then why are all the statistics saying that the death rate was within normal parameters last year? Number 5, if there really is a pandemic, then why have all the normal influenza deaths almost disappeared? Number 6, if the first lockdown worked, then why are we doing it again? Number 7, if the lockdowns didn't work, then why are we doing the same thing again? Expecting a different outcome from the same procedure is a clear sign of insanity. Number 8, why is the government listening to their own very small panel of experts and refusing to listen to the vast majority of doctors, nurses and health experts? Number 9, why do we see scenes of pandemonium in hospitals on TV when in reality they're all empty?
Where's all the sick people? Where's all the COVID patients? Where's all the COVID patients? Where are they?
Number 10, if there really is a pandemic, then why are there thousands of nurses out of work? Number 11, if the pandemic started in 2019, then how did all the governments around the world order and deliver COVID-19 PCR test kits the year before in 2018? Number 12, if used and discarded masks could be highly contagious, then why do we see thousands of them littering the streets and countryside? Number 13, if there really is a worldwide pandemic, then why do the rules and regulations differ greatly from city to city and country to country? Number 14, if COVID doesn't affect children, then why are the schools shut?
Pokodamak Anatoly Kimstrassel Marty McCree WSJ, he isn't saying that, but it could easily be true.
Anatoly David Enver Kimstrassel Marty McCree WSJ, no evidence that heat and humidity matter.
Trump told you're even incompetent at trolling.
Sent John Clarnon and I sent a letter to President Biden expressing our support of GovAbbot's request that all categories of public assistance, all programs of individual assistance and the hazard mitigation grant program be authorized for all 254 counties. https://DCOYU4DCSLQ09.
We need to get to the bottom of what caused power grid failures in Texas to ensure it never happens again. https://TCOHTRP6K4PWE.
Joining us now to talk about it is Texas Senator Ted Cruz. I have a piece of this story that nobody knows, that you know to be true, and Governor Abbott knows to be true. And that is, I got contact very early in the week from the official meteorologist of my radio show, Joe Bastardi, frequent guest on this program at weatherbell.com. And he sent a note to both of you, to you and Governor Abbott. In that note, he said this is going to be far worse than I think others are predicting. You got in touch with him. The governor got in touch with him. You took it seriously, and you worked hand in hand with the governor in the lead up to this, knowing this was all a big possibility. And this is days before that happened, and you were fully and completely engaged. And I know that from my own reporting and my own conversations with you and Governor Abbott and with Joe Bastardi. Now, you went and you took your daughters to Cancun and you came back. I think you can be a father and be the senator of Texas all at the same time and make a round trip, quick drop-off trip and come home.
Well, Sean, that's right. And starting with what you opened with, you connected me with Joe early on before these storms actually even hit the state of Texas. And I got to say, you called me and told me Joe was very impressive. He knew his stuff. And I called him that evening and spent significant time on the phone with him talking through what he saw coming. And he was predicting not one, but two major winter storms, the combination of which he believed would have an impact on Texas that would exceed anything we've seen in this state since 1899. And I thought it was a very impressive, a very serious. He sent me charts and data on what was coming. And you reached out and I reached out to Governor Abbott and said, listen, this guy knows his stuff and you ought to talk to him, and we helped connect them. And, you know, at the same time, Governor Abbott had already declared an emergency in all 254 counties all across Texas. And so I joined with John Cornyn in urging Joe Biden to declare a federal disaster to mirror the governor's request, which President Biden, to his credit, did. And so that was early on, right before these storms came. We knew they were serious. This week has been hell for the state of Texas. It has been two storms on top of each other. 4 million Texans lost power, no lights, many with no water. It has been frustrating. I'll tell you, Sean, a lot of Texans are mad or pissed off. How can it be that Texas, the energy capital of the world, can't turn our lights on and can't heat our homes? A lot of Texans are frustrated. This shouldn't have happened. I'll tell you, Heidi and me, we lost power for 2 days. Our house was dark. We had no heat. Actually, the fireplace behind me, we were all huddled around the fireplace because it was the only heat in the house. And after a couple of days, after the girls being really cold, it being in the teens and the 20s outside, our girls said, look, school's been canceled for the week. Can we take a trip and go somewhere warm? And Heidi and I, as parents, we said, okay, sure. And so last night I flew down with them to the beach, and then I flew back this afternoon. I had initially planned to stay through the weekend and to work remotely there, but as I was heading down there, I started to have second thoughts almost immediately, because the crisis here in Texas, you need to be here on the ground, and as much as you can do by phone and Zoom, it's not the same as being here. And so I returned this afternoon, and I'm here working to make sure to do everything we can to get the power turned on, but also fundamentally to ask the questions, why did this happen? Why was the Texas grid, which is regulated at the state level, it's operated at the state level, it's not a federal function, it's a state function, but why was the grid not sufficiently prepared so that 4 million Texans lost heat and power? We need to answer that, and we need to make sure it never happens again in the state of Texas.
To what extent? Now, Texas is very unique in that there's no federal control authority over their energy grid. It's separate and apart, which for a lot of different reasons is very good for Texas. As you do not have to abide by the burdensome regulations of the federal government. Very smart on Texas's part, and I think that's brilliant. Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I thought we learned during COVID that teleschool, telemedicine, teleworking, Zoom calls, all this other stuff changed the way we do everything. Now, I'm not assuming that the people of Texas thought you were going to go out there with blow torches and antifreeze and get the wind turbines going, but you raise a good question, and that is, with all the natural resources of Texas, why is Texas relying on wind turbines, which, by the way, it's use it or lose it. You can't store that energy. And why, in that sense, isn't it upgraded to what works now? Now, eventually, if it works and Texas chooses that, I'm an all the above guy. But for now, oil, gas, and coal are our main sources of energy, and nuclear energy, if people would let us use it.
Well, I think you said it right, which is that we should use all of the above. In Texas is the #1 producer of wind energy in the country, more than California. About 25% of our electricity comes from wind, and that's a valuable asset. My view is we ought to be using all the energy sources, but we shouldn't have mandates. We shouldn't be subsidizing any. We should let the market decide, the consumers decide. Right now, we don't have clear answers as to why the Texas energy grid couldn't handle this surge in the winter. Obviously, a massive surge like this is very unusual in Texas. It appears there were a combination of factors. One factor is a substantial number of the wind turbines froze and ceased producing energy. Now, elsewhere, other colder climates, you're able to put treatments and lubricants on wind turbines so they can operate in the cold. But in Texas, that wasn't predicted to happen, and so they didn't do that. We saw a huge drop-off in energy from wind. We also saw substantial drop-offs from coal, substantial drop-offs from natural gas, substantial drop-offs from solar. What we need to do is have a serious fact-based investigation, not based on politics, not based on the Green New Deal and where you are on this policy or the other. It needs to be based on the evidence, based on the facts, to say what happened. Why was the grid not there? Most of these shutdowns were mandated because there wasn't the power, and so they just shut whole neighborhoods down. You know, Tuesday night, we had a bunch of kids at our house because our house was one of the few houses that had power, and so we had a lot of our daughter's friends were over. We were making dinner for them, and right about, 6:30, boom, the lights go out and we lose power. And so we had a candlelight dinner because that's all we had. We had flashlights, and then the girls all camped out. They got in sleeping bags and wrapped up in comforters and everything. But it got cold. I mean, it was in the 30s in the house as it got cold. And it stayed with no power for 2 days. That was because the power generation in the grid couldn't meet the demands, and so they took whole streets and whole neighborhoods offline. That should not happen again. It certainly shouldn't happen in Texas. You know, other states, you look at a state like California, where they have rolling brownouts predictably year after year after year. It's a failure of the system, and it's a failure the government regulators are causing. Part of the reasons Texans are so pissed is this shouldn't happen in Texas. And I'll tell you this, we're going to fix it. The state of Texas better fix it. Governor Abbott was right when he called on the state legislature to investigate why the grid wasn't ready and to make sure this never happens again in the state of Texas.
Yeah, I didn't see much criticism in the early lid that Joe Biden put on things, while the people in Texas, you could use federal help. But there's always that double standard. You made the right call coming back. You also can be a father. There's also something called technology. We also know what teleworking is. And I think there's a lot of sanctimony and politics being played in this attack. And look, Governor Perry made me an honorary Texan. That's why I made the call to you and Governor Abbott. I feel a responsibility for Americans that actually don't hate me, like the state I'm living in, New York. Anyway, welcome home, Senator, and all the best to our friends in Texas, and hopefully we get this fixed soon.
Democrats are upset we are not calling Joe Biden the president. I'm hearing they want big tech to ban people for not putting president in front of his name. Imposter Biden.
Joe Biden is not my president.
Where is Joe? Send this to Joe Biden. I have a message for him. He said blacks and Hispanics don't know how to get online and use the internet. He think we are all ignorant. President Trump would have been called a racist for saying this. Raise your hand if you agree. https://coxbg3tzarof.
A lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccination at the Walgreens or at
Hold up, wait a minute. Joe, who in the world do you think you are? Joe, I'm talking to you. Look at me when I'm talking to you, Joe. Who do you think you are? To sit up here and say that blacks and Hispanics don't know how to use the internet. You think we that stupid? You think we that dumb, Joe? What are you thinking? Are you even thinking? Seriously, are you even thinking? You have to be ignorant yourself to sit up here and say something like that, Joe. Well, guess what, Joe? I'm black. And I'm using the internet to tell you, I'm smart enough to use the internet to tell you to kiss my black ass. You can't even put a sentence together, but you want to call us dumb? You on here speaking all this jibber jabber. We can barely understand what you're saying half the time, but you want to call us ignorant? You want to sit up here and say that we don't know how to use the internet? Joe, What is going through your mind? Is anything going through your mind? You straight up racist, Joe. I come from the inner cities, and I know how to use the internet. I know how to think for myself. I know how to use my brain, unlike you, Joe. And just because blacks and Hispanics come from inner cities, first of all, white people come from inner cities too. White people are poor too. And just because somebody grow up poor don't mean they are dumb, Joe. I grew up poor, living in foster homes, in and out of foster homes, living in children's shelters. And guess what, Joe? I got a whole book out. I met the greatest president, Donald J. Trump. You are not my president. But you want to call us dumb. You the dumb one.
Jibs fnder beaten people, that's what we have now.
Speaker Pelosi and Elite Fusion NASAJPL Nase persevere now I can know that landing is psyop lol.
They called Tomo one Dongdi dude. I feel bad for people who actually worry about BDM and the state dreams up to control us.
Jont U92 IRFANKH 65 23 26 60 haha okay I guess that settles it lol.
Belisarius, it seems like it's been taken a bit far to me, but WTF knows for sure.
Belisarius IRFANKH 65 23 26 60 lol. He is so far out of his depth with you all. 1 and 0 Q 3D. I'd never thought they were hot. The hot models are all chosen by a game and you are on that industry. Matthew 87 80 62 28. No doubt that plays a big part.
Belisarius Scupa Cheese Queen Gabby 555 IRFANKH 65 23 26 60 lol.
Truth MJ 1964 10 CJBOWDEN1 ha nice.
1 and 0 Q 3D CJBOWDEN1. There is clearly something to it.
MRCO lol nice gif.
Solstice 420 yes.
Korolev 72377. Well, I was just having a bit of fun. Clearly there is something to the transvestigation stuff. I just see some people basically claiming pretty much all of them lol. WTF knows, maybe they all are lol. Nothing would surprise me.
1 and 0 Qlet 3D. Yes, I've heard that as well. Joseph Falchetti, I mean, I get that they are out there, but so many really I don't know about a bunch of them. Donny off Dead Spiritis will Libertator 3 IRFANKH 65 23 26 60. I've seen you do your thing, it's hilarious.
Matthew 87 80 62 28 Jardin 9. I wear that kind that goes around my neck. If they chase me I just fumble with it lol. Real nose Parker okay noted HTTPS TCOQYDJYOGY4C.
Micah Cayman GR33 and BOTZSOK23 lol nice. We must unite to John Lemire and Elite Fusion lol.
Matthew 87 80 62 28 Jardin 9. Wow, they have people at the door and they say something to me periodically and I just say oh okay and keep walking it.
And custom design lol, I love it.
Kylance Belisarius IRFANKH 65 23 26 60 less than 1 of the barometric pressure of Earth genius, basically a vacuum.
Matthew 87 80 62 28 Jardin 9 yes.
Cat Equal Seed 7. I agree, everything is under review.
Kickboxer 313 HTTPS TCOIESXV1XPRK.
Commodore 1853. I have a buddy who constantly transvestigates SHT lol. I love it.
MK 1964 10 Genius lol.
Kickboxer 313 Genius lol C.
Donny of Dead Spiritis will Libertator 3 IRFANKH 65 23 26 60. I don't screw around with jack-offs like that lol. I am here for the laughs, not to interact with tightly wound dicks like that.
Donny of Dead Spiritis will Libertator 3 IRFANKH 65 23 26 60. I tried to be cool to that account, but when he kept it up I just blocked them.
Commodore 1853. Yes, I've heard that one.
Juniors, I agree, everything is under review.
CJBOWDEN1 HTTPS TCOXNCAK6KAXC.
Spiritis will Donny of Dead Libertator 3 IRFANKH 65 23 26 60. I can't even tell if you're serious now. What a jacklet lol. Kevin Osborne HTTPS TCOGOTS8CRLZK.
Q-Dasbib, okay, that makes more sense, thank you.
CJBOWDEN1 careful what you wish for, you can't unsee stuff lol.
JMORE37 lol.
LaurenSilly 2 he said whole https tcomvwgxnjt3u.
BBOROIMHE lol, I mean I see transvestigations on everyone now lol. LilithAssyria IRFANKH 65232660 https tco08hrfye5u.
Okay, so pretty much every celebrity and political chick is actually a dude. Do I have that theory right?
Spiritis will Donny off dead Libertator 3 IRFANKH 65232660 lol, you might dial it back a notch, he was definitely kidding.
Paul cut the crap ek lol royal duties lol GTFOOH, what is that jacking over the people? Donny off dead GR33 NBOTZSOKE23 supply and demand increase the demand.
Donny off dead GR33 NBOTZSOKE23, it's a business model, it's working.
JOSHD0110 haha nice. Scoop a cheese brain for me to tie IRFANKH 65232660 lol, of course, thank you for your input.
GR33 NBOTZSOKE23, hey, it's not personal, it's just business.
Blanche pictures Libertator 3 haha.
Brain for me to tie IRFANKH 65232660, correct?
Red 156 lol, man, if it'd known I was up for SenTedCruz, it'd have been all over that transmatic SHT.
Spiritis real Donny off dead Libertator 3 IRFANKH 65232660, it's a good point, they certainly wouldn't lie.
What 156, but I have so little, can't I just keep that?
Vocapitalist IRFANKH 65232660, a bargain at twice the price.
Queen Gabby 555 IRFANKH 65232660, let's not get crosswise on a topic like that. Surely you can see that what you've said is not proof of anything about the legitimacy of whether they actually went right.
MJ 1964 10 Coverdale Forest Money, it's what people think of those corrupt jokers.
Donny off dead Libertator 3 IRFANKH 65232660 lol. MJ 1964 10 IRFANKH 65232660 https tcoapbps 66qj9.
Karachi Jill IRFANKH 65232660 lol, exactly. Donny off dead Libertator 3 IRFANKH 65232660, they want to believe so badly.
Diana Mommy https tcowtdxc5sn4u.
RealCandaceO, my god.
TFLN asinine, anyone can get married, the trick is staying happily married.
With appeal code 196 IRFANKH 65232660 haha potato.
John Lemire Angelique Fusion, I can't believe they didn't last, I was sure that was a forever thing. https tcovbkbzbqa1d.
DRKARLYNP Caroline Coulson haha, try to be less white lol, I love it. https tcovz7 fos0wkn.
Libertator 3 Donny off dead IRFANKH 65232660, they've already been caught faking exactly that kind of footage, makes no difference to the space believing bros.
Blue 26 Jackson LSTARR 13 lol, great gift choice.
C89 1666 165 IRFANKH 65232660 lol.
Donny off dead IRFANKH 65232660 cc, it's proof. Blue 26 Jackson LSTARR 13, they live in a dream world. SHNABBLES yet.
IRFANKH 65232660 haha, people accept that crap as proof lol.
Diane Mommy drinking the freedom. Read Coverdale Forest Mommy, and it was blessed by the Holy Supreme Court. So much for the Constitution, nothing wakes people to the scam being run on them. LINKERBKB haha, I love it. LINKERBKB wow.
CTRL Paul haha AHHH to dream.
RealCandaceO while Walmart's policy is that they do not have staff confront people as a security issue, they ask and then leave it alone. That's been my experience with the place as well.
Belisarius FLGIRL 2156 lol exactly.
Formula for you, it's such a bad situation.
FLGIRL 2156 MLAWZ.
Real Desegnister INTERNETSUPERH1 Sempresetica Planodemic Cabsilco 1 Otoloco Teohilani Suspicious Minluchite Cyrus Bigailka OCCULTB0T Conspiracy 0T Seek Truth 101 and THEFEDERALR the TRXTH Twits Most Wanted Jackaferman Neem Sniper Pon 1 Blue 26 Jackson Rice Tofleague Muliman Nation Ibth Bosk Sylvie Glenette Nina Shoes Gretonka Kevin Delajay Contributions WSSSTOM Giavashua 444 Grand F4 Maggio Muchatina Truber 1333 Faking Space Sully Truman Levin Alama 1 Consciousness 777 Lord Brave Punty Cat Equal Seed 7 Awaken Brook Darnold in Black Buddy 13 TRAVELLIGHTP1 Budik Free Einhart PDP 000000001 McFadden 1932 Renaissance ATM Bailey remains EGLIVES Lol Nice.
Trump 2020 Red, you're most welcome, it's quite a choice.
Texit 97 haha so predictable. Nation 022002 lol.
Nation 022002, that's the system I use.
DTROY 1776 Mujust doing my job and Mujust tell it to Fajaj.
Joseph, yes it is. MJ 1964 101 and 0 Q 3D random dude 503 DTROY 1776 yes to file in a GOVT court to get it enforced lol my exception. DTROY 1776 with a bunch of posters lol probably had a back the blue sticker on their car lol. Dark Segemistic HTTPS TCOQAZGXTV9E.
Flattened HTTPS TCOEUJ3HICVS.
Joseph, that's my conclusion as well.
MJ 1964 101 and 0 Q 3D random dude 503 DTROY 1776 yes, and they are very serious violations when GOVT wants to enforce them, no doubt. Flattened while anal to oral is not just a form of porn anymore. MJ 1964 101 and 0 Q 3D random dude 503 DTROY 1776 lol was lol good one.
Carl 34 40 97 84 not so easy to just move my friend, but thank you for the heads up.
Jake the Snake Swag, I agree it will vary, I would probably not go that high, but that's just a detail. Imral Robinson Dimitri 2020 LLC, wow what a joke this place is. Escher 911 Nomad Liberty, the divide really does appear to be between rural and urban. R1 Josephus Random Dude 503 HTTPS TCOUIFITE02CM. Vaccinazi FCKING Cops GOVT Dudes.
Henry Lindman 9 Muliker Finish Dabu 7 High Impact Flips Spare Me RBS 0 CTOBRREIGNZ Marfidal Massener Bearded Heretic Dom 175 28 96 78 It's okay they are just common sense HTTPS TCO0 Nuts 2 and 6 ounces. Dono 2012 I agree.
Edes Jargon 9 exactly.
Bob Earl damn right. Sempresetica Planodemic Cabsilco 1 Otoloco Yoilani Suspicious Minluchide Iris Big Aoka OCCULTB0T Conspiracy 0T Seek Truth 101 and THEFEDERALR the TRXTH Twits Most Wanted Jackaferman Nin Sniper Pon 1 Blue 26 Jackson Rice Tofley Bamil Nation Ibn Bosk Sylvie Glenette Nin Yashus Gretonka Kevin Della J Contributions WSSSTOM Yahashu 444 Grand F4 Maggio Earl Mucha Tina Truther 1333 Faking Space Sully Truman 11 Alma 1 Consciousness 777 Lord Grave Punty Cat Equal Seed 7 Awakened Brook Darnold and Black Buggy 13 TRAVELLIGHTP1 Dudika Desegnister 3 Einhart PDP 000000001 McFadden 1932 Renaissance ATM Bailey remains EGLIVES thank you I'm just doing my job HTTPS TCOAPGTTFGPKA.
BSDO HTTPS TCOFR9HVIJPHA.
Genres Benny Coleman Royce Ton Potter COLLENHUBERNMD Margalit Francus Spermi RBS0 CTOBERRIGNZDRMADJOLDDRJUDYAMIKOVITSROBERTKENNEDYJR Libertarian Stephen Denoon HTTPS TCOOSJW for KZYAB.
BSDO, well, thank you. You should see how bad the portrait of me in the attic looks, lol.
Let's start on 3 Vaccinazi HTTPS TCOR7CTDJLPYM.
Celestial Swan, it will always be more inconvenient to not comply. They will make sure of that.
1 and 0 Q 3D random do 503 MJ 1964 10 DTROY 1776 OVI hypodigitize records and it will all only GOVT can pass off such nonsense and be taken seriously.
6.5 have to choose and the people have chosen from what I see. Veritasu 77 bingo.
Random do 503 lol, I'm a crazy old lady now lol, I love it. Ashaldron, that's my conclusion.
Flygon to bite God, I hope.
Darkasmith, that's where I see evidence of actual resistance as well.
Jake the Snake swag, yes, but for the wires and media would be fine.
Spud Ruckus, well, when I read it closely, it can easily mean that they were only authorizing the minimum law breaking required to maintain the stability of the grid. Mac 45K, good for you.
Vaccinazi, well, they've outlawed meeting in person and the FBI is on every platform ready to infiltrate every movement. R1 Josephus DTROY 1776, I'm not familiar with him.
Mac 45K, wow.
Thyroid, wow, just think what an insane police state we live in.
Wheresoever 12, yep.
Maskless Mindias the steal it at gunpoint.
R1 Josephus, yep, they know and see corruption all around them and do nothing.
J. Kurunder 33 Dioneno 54 90 1680, that's what I see.
Disgusting 77, that is not going to stop anything. HTTPS TCOLJSGXQLHUJ.
R1 Josephus, well, I am in a suburb, the people all wear masks, I just get a lot of ugly looks and hear a lot of mumbling lol lol.
Jake the Snake swag, correct. Killdozer Dale for sure.
Jake the Snake swag, that could be true, but big difference between don't want and won't take.
R1 Josephus DTROY 1776, I have only gotten a few problems entering over the entire time and it was places with national mandates from Corp, I just turned around and left.
Killdozer Dale, so few it blows my mind.
LYHITM, that's way better than here 99. Nomad Liberty, it really is rural-urban divide.
Dioneno 54 90 1680, it's getting ugly out there. Me amortinize.
Electricovid 20 lol HTTPS TCOFTZNABUN1.
SG Renault, I see the same thing. 4OLEV 723 77, it appears that way.
Sheen Malcolm, god my god. Edes Jardin 9, it's just so FCKED.
R1 Josephus, my bad.
Jack with Rhodes P1, I guess, well, see, I think with 90 taking it only increases the chance they make it mandatory.
Electricovid 20 lol.
Kid H6421, I saw the same thing here.
LFO2, why are they wearing the masks? Is that information itself?
BMW FREAMAN account pursue, wow, just wow.
Benny Coleman Royce Ton Potter COLLENHUPERNMD Margalit Francus Genres Spermi RBS0 CTOBERRIGNZDRMADEJBUSYDRTDRSIMONEGOLDDRJUDYAMIKOVITSROBERTKENNEDY Libertarian Stephen Denoon can't have people discussing the truth.
The brainwashing of people is so deep and so 247 their whole lives that most people actually think the police are there to help them. They are not, they are there to guard you. HTTPS TCOFIRJWKIXP. Bob Merle, they are scary stupid. I hear all this talk about how there is so much resistance to the restrictions, but when I go to stores I'm the only one not wearing a mask, and it's been like that the whole time. It appears to me the only resistance is on social media posting, not in real life. Random Dude 503 MJ 1964 10 DTROY 1776. The prison walls are closing in.
Citizen Medios https tco58hjpj6c8
HIGGINSGGGGCU get crises.
Random Dude 5031N0 Quebec 3DMJ 1964 10 DTROY 1776. I seriously doubt it.
Incubates one wow, just wow. Outside here I rarely see a mask at the park, etc. If I do, they are almost always Asian. https tcoqhchchwic08
Goodful 4638-871 account Christu. Apparently Gold's Gym on the beach is boarded windows and the racquetball courts are homeless camps. I mean, WTF is going on in this world? So look.
Random Dude 503 MJ 1964 10 DTROY 1776. When do we ever get anything back?
DTROY 1776. Haha, greatness.
Goodful 4638 871 account Christu. Well, the place is blown out and full on dystopic nightmare. According to him, just idiots everywhere with 247 fear-mongering nonsense. You sent me news clips, it looks like parody.
Bobberl for sure. I don't believe it was either massively manipulated. They have been spraying us like crazy before and during that event. Account Christu JC were fucked. It's 1 from what I see. It's about 80-20 for me, but that 20 is not strong. I'd say maybe 5 to 10 is strong against. DTROY 1776. I detest these fools as well.
ICONOCLASTTTT. Yep.
Goodful 4638-871 account Christu. From what I've heard, almost unbearable. I have a good buddy in San Diego, it sucks ass too.
Goodful 4638-871 account Christu. Lol https tcodr803 Keju.
Tomkins MCMCT. Haha, great pick.
Random Dude 503 MJ 1964 10 DTROY 1776. I think that is right.
Celebrate Razm Sally Mayweather DDOGSBBQ. Lol, no wonder I love cats. Celebrate Razm Sally Mayweather DDOGSBBQ. Lol. Bobberl, no doubt that is the plan.
Goodful 4638 871 account Christu. Wow, no, I haven't been, but that sounds truly terrible. It's bad enough where I am.
1N0 Quebec 3DMJ 1964 10 DTROY 1776 Police State. DTROY 1776. Lol, I actually like that. Lol, I wouldn't use it myself, but I like it. Lol.
Goodful 4638 871 account Christu. I like law too. One of my best buds is a Cajun, but people are saying no is totally screwed now.
Anti-Celebrate account Christu for other reasons, or are you saying there are a huge amount of restrictions?
1N0 Quebec 3D. This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this is mine. https tcow2x for people.
MJ 1964 10 DTROY 1776. Man, I hope, but we are very rapidly running out of time and the news continues to tighten.
DTROY 1776. Well, thank you. We only need some of the law enforcement and other GOVT types. We don't need them all. I do what I can do.
Goodful 4638-871 account Christu. Oh man, that's nice. I like the food in both those places. Lol. DTROY 1776. If I had to bet, I would say the same. I'm just running on slim hope and the fact that the only thing I can do, I try and open some minds. Goodful 4638-871. Yes, we are up against it now. RESTLESSKT Liberty Worldview CJBOWD and 1 Sally Mayweather bingo, but that guy was so rude to me. I just blocked him. I was nothing but polite.
DTROY 1776 rolled out some more deaths and scary hazmat suits and the people will all fall in line. Account Christu. Man, so they wearing them there? I thought it was open season there.
DTROY 1776. I think we are dangerously close to that.
The Invecminus existence matrix law.
Good full 46 38 871. Exactly how can it go from that to mass resistance makes no sense.
Mugsy Gogs, I see lots of people against a lot of stuff and I watch them comply. All they have to do is say you can't register your kid for school or get your other prescriptions and poof, resistance will collapse.
DTROY 1776, that is a big factor, as incredible as it seems. DTROY 1776, I'm not seeing less compliance either, I'm also seeing more people are used to it now.
Tito S9, I hope I'm wrong, I just don't see any evidence. I see evidence all around that the people will bitch and moan, but they will comply. Mugsy Gogs, I hope you're right, I just know it's not going to go down like that. When have the police ever not enforced something they were told to?
DTROY 1776, every store I go in am the only one without a mask. I have seen maybe 10 people the whole time in those stores without masks on. That flat earth, they're so easy to mandate it. The resistance people imagine will happen is a fantasy, it will go poof.
If they make the vax mandatory, who do you think is going to enforce that? The cops, that's who. And if you don't think they will, then you're going to learn a very hard lesson. https://tcofirjwkixp.
For all the people who think that there'll be so much resistance to mandatory vaccine testing, look around. How many people do you see not wearing masks where they are required? LibertyWorldview CJBOWDEN1 Sally Mayweather, I was nothing but polite to you and you call me a clown. Lol, thank you for making the point I always make about guys like you.
Oh, Adosnip, yes, the fantasies they show of spaceships flying around like planes in space are just silly.
CJBOWDEN1 Liberty Worldview Sally Mayweather, yeah, people like that want the right thing, freedom and liberty, but the method has no chance. None of what is going on is constitutional, so the idea it can be limited down with the right people is a fantasy.
Oh, Adosnip lol ilmao, at the way they use those to slow it down in a vacuum, just idiotic.
Liberty Worldview CJBOWDEN1 Sally Mayweather, the GOVT ignores all limitations. The only chance is to massively decentralize IMO, but I wish you the best. Existence Matrix, me too.
Marek Chef Gruel Hollywood Hixus, I know it is so bleak out there. Samidens media, unfortunately.
Sterling 2143 Indigo Leo 10 instantaneous totally dependent population.
Sterling 2143 Indigo Leo 10, and I can personally attest to huge spraying going on here for days and days whenever the sky cleared enough to see through the low-level clouds. Random Dude 503 LilithAssyria 3332, so many glaring bloopers over and over and most just can't give it up. Alpenstrudely MLisackert lol.
The MLisackert, so you want Granny to die and you hate safety.
That flat earth there for sure, that's what it will come to. Random Dude 503 LilithAssyria 3332, I've seen blooper after blooper of NASA lies and nothing makes a dent in the idiots.
The MLisackert, you will own nothing and you'll be happy.
MJ 196410 LilithAssyria 3332, agree?
Existence Matrix, yes, the GOVT gives their armed thugs immunity to abuse the people and still the people imagine they are heroes. Spud Ruckus, whoa, is that legit?
That flat earth there, wow, sucks. I feel yeah, they've blown up all the stuff I enjoy as well.
LilithAssyria 3332 lol, I agree.
LilithAssyria 3332 lol.
WMANTHONIC, you get GOVT crisis. Mamlin, well, there are only a handful of sheriffs who do the real job and none of them are in large urban areas.
Grandpa Moline, I'll glad you enjoyed it. We few have to stick together. Carrot 7627 Hyacinth House 8, see you get it.
SG Renault, so many vids of burning snow as well, no explanations, no investigations, just endless lies from Gov Media.
BMFIORE2 HTTPS TCOND2T3 FASTA. Carib 7627 Hyacinth House 8 HTTPS TCO 47 PFQFLUVU.
LilithAssyria 3332, apparently the stuff on Mars doesn't ever need maintenance. It's amazing, like the suitcase car they took to the moon.
Looking for America, they don't even hide it since the people are too dumb and brainwashed to connect the simplest dots.
They got the car path, yes.
Ian 51859134, yes, I know the answer. Unfortunately, I am just trying to reach some people who don't and hopefully make them think for themselves.
LilithAssyria to just one of so many things they could be doing with it.
Hyacinth House 8 looks very, very suspicious to me.
BMFIORE2 lol, this is why I love Twitter. So many people out there who know SHT.
They call them police states for a reason. Look around. The only reason any of this GOVT insanity can be enforced is because GOVT hires men with guns to do that. Those men are not heroes, they are your guards. HTTPS/TCOFIRJWKIXP. BMFIORE2 lol, I love it.
This storm-induced issue with the grid looks suspiciously like a typical impulse test our overseers use on us to gauge reactions and to prepare systems. Remember, the grid or parts of it can come down whenever they need it to usher in whatever they desire. $child lol, good one, maybe an implied power.
Jack was Robespy 1 bingo. That is the problem with that court crap. Sure, there is an Act of 1871 etc, but none of those ridiculous all-cap letter argument work in real courts. I have asked for years for any actual Fed appellate case doing so. Always crickets and excuses like Q. BMFIORE2 ma vacuum.
BMFIORE2 wow, just wow.
3TJHOKER. I don't see how there is any other explanation at this point. I'm tired of them telling me all about how they protect me etc while they screw me. Royalty 1 yes, of course, I've heard this many times. Living on the fringe is not an option for most people, and the GOVT would never allow it in mass. You're not helping the cause of freedom, you are screwing it.
Jack was Robespy 1 yes, and the arguments on the court crap make no difference because the courts don't recognize that stuff the way the people who push it imagine they should. Royalty 1 it doesn't matter, that is my point. They claim to operate under the organic one.
Royalty 1 I didn't know if you were a legit account trying to help the cause of freedom or just a BS account designed to drive people into a dead end, but when you can't answer that simple question, you answer my other question. Royalty 1 so you can't answer that simple fundamental question. You think I am unaware of those corporation arguments lol. Royalty 1 please tell me how that makes any difference. They claim to operate under the Constitution, so what difference does it make to try and argue what you are? Absent this it would seem so.
Unknown 4260 3935 could be anything. Who knows? I just know NASA has been caught lying over and over, and nothing they say makes any sense and is never scrutinized under oath because they are GOVT liars like the rest of GOVT. Are police WTHE people and freedom, or are they there to defend the out-of-control unconstitutional GOVT? It's either just doing my job or the oath. You can't have both at this point. Where are the men of honor in uniform? My new podcast lays it out. https://DCOFNOHGXXK19.
Griga Tapper Project Bluebeam.
Freedom Fox 12 yes, I saw that. Interesting. Wheresoever 12 and people believe that kind of thing.
Truthman 71 correct.
DCARDASSI, then you have never investigated it.
Electronic Sykes James Marks 176 at the news.
Hilly Ulsterman Lunica thrusting in a vacuum. You've watched too much science fantasy.
Ronald Paul, your example has zero relevance to my point. Some random person telling you something is not enforcement, it's not even theoretical enforcement.
Pentops 4I overthing 1 https://TCO1 Birksy.
Pink 1963 DSW Squat Papa NBCNEWS haha, you clearly don't even know what a preamble is in legal terms. Wow, thank you for making my point.
MACREADYRJ, and it's true.
BMFIORE2 haha, I love it.
Mike 727 Health Theft Later lol.
Space Treasure 8 but Manasseh says.
Oh adosnit lol.